This is Uncouth Tangents. I'm your host, B.
And I'm your host, Dove.
And welcome to the show.
Is it easier for you to have your headphones on?
No, I find it amusingly distracting.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I get a little too overly conscious about hearing myself, and it's just strange.
Are you listening to yourself in there?
Yeah,
Is
that's
it like
why
a
I'm
speech?
talking.
Is it like a speech jammer?
It is.
Oh no! Why do you have that on?
Okay, I'll take it off.
What is wrong with you?
All
Why are
right.
you speech jamming yourself?
You know what? I like a little bit of sabotage. Some people just like to see the world burn. Shit. Fuck. Okay. Anyways, so there's this Twitter account that we recently found, and I'm highly amused by it, and I thought you would get a pretty good kick out of it, because based on your art styles and everything like this, I think this is like really right up your alley.
Oh, what's the name of it?
Twitter handle is Tiny Foods. They are
Tiny
at
Foods.
they are at Foods Tiny. And
Wait. Before you show me that, I just wanted to tell you.
I just feel like you have to use the bathroom.
Wait, no,
this is how excited you
I
are.
get so excited. I might pee a little. I'm so excited. Before you show me anything, I do want to tell you that growing up, you know, like little girls, they have Barbies and shit like that. I never had those. All I had was tiny kitchen things. So I played with a toy called Kitchen Little. And I guess it was big enough for a Barbie to be played around with it, but I never did that. It was always just, you know, playing by myself, and it had the sink area and then the expansion, the DLCs.
How large were these? Like,
How do I say this? They were about a foot and a half
so it's
tall.
kind of regular size for a kid.
Yeah, regular size for a kid. Like I said,
Okay.
you could play with a Barbie with these toys, but I never did that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had a sink area that had the cabinets, and it had little plates that you can put into the cabinets. And then the expansion, they're not called expansion packs because, you know, I got a video game brain, I guess. So
Well, I heard you say like DLC.
yeah, the
earlier.
DLC version, the downloadable content. You could also buy a refrigerator separate from that.
Did it actually work?
Well, I think
Or worked in your child brain?
everything worked in my child brain. It
Yeah,
was
that makes
beautiful. But no, a light came on when you opened up the refrigerator, and then it was all these foods in there. So you had the drawer that you would put the vegetables in, and you would put the fruits in. And they also had a little tiny ice cream container that was called dryers. So like
instead of
dryers
Breyers?
ice cream.
Oh
Yeah,
my
and you
gosh.
could open it, and there were 3 scoops in there. And you had an ice cream scooper, and also the other expansion to that was a stove. And so you can open the stove, and there would be a huge turkey in there with a turkey pan. And if you press one of the buttons on the stove, it makes a sizzle sound because it also came with bacon and a frying pan.
That's very exciting. You are just,
It was so amazing.
once again, you're shaking in this episode.
So amazing. And I still have these toys. They're at home. So my parents, they gave them to me when...
As a graduation present.
Well, they gave them back to me because I left them at home, you know, when I moved out. Some years, I think about 10 years ago, they sent them over to my new place. And they're like, you have your own place now. Here's your shit. You know?
So it wasn't really like, oh, a commemorative gift. This was like, we're tired of holding your shit.
Yeah, basically. Here's
Well,
all your shit.
that's good parenting
Yes,
101.
well, yeah, so all the toys that I had was little tiny miniature foods. And I also played with these little toys called Playground Kids. So they were little dolls that had like, I don't know, they had really weird joints that were, you know, the joints that are stitched together really, really closely. So instead of an elbow, it's just like a fat ass stitch line, and then you have the forearm. And
This
then
is a stuffed animal child, or is this like...
They were kind of stuffed, and so they
That's
were
weird.
soft. They were really small and I guess spindly, but the
This is
head
the creepiest.
No, know. But the heads were made of plastic and the shoes were made of plastic. So the heads and the shoes were the heaviest part, and then the center of the body was kind of smushy.
Die-cast metal.
Well, it was kind of smushy. And so they were called playground kids. And then I also had Littlest Pet Shop. So I said all that to say I love tiny things immensely. So
Well, I just have a question. Like, is the kitchen stuff like pink and very women-oriented?
fuck. Yeah. So it's pink and white.
Yeah.
Damn.
I thought about it because I was like, this is really just setting somebody up to be like, oh yeah, you're going to be a good housewife someday.
God
Like,
damn it.
sorry, I didn't mean to taint your
Shit.
childhood.
No, you know what? Because my childhood was reinforced with all things domestic. So changing diapers at 6 years old, trust me, I was already kind of made up to be this little tiny housewife. But I still love those toys because they were super fun.
Yeah, those memories are still really
yeah.
precious to you, and that's what matters.
And all tiny things are just adorable. Yeah, well, not all tiny things.
Like spiders.
Yeah.
That spider. It's a cute spider.
Oh, well.
That earwig. That millipede.
Had something else in mind, but that's fine.
Oh,
tiny
I
toys.
see.
Tiny toys are cute. Anyway, show me, damn it.
Okay, so this Twitter account, I guess we're going to try and just describe images to you. This is a tiny, I guess, granola
I want
yogurt
to see
bowl.
it. Oh my god! What?
Okay,
How
your
did
eyes
they even make it?
your eyes went to the size of like full Sacagawean dollar coins.
Wait, but no, seriously. Where do you get the blueberries so tiny to make these things? Is it actual food? Because I've seen them.
Supposedly it is all like actual food.
Wait, where do you get that from?
I don't know.
Why don't you have the answer to these things?
I don't. Yes, because I am the secret owner of this account, obviously.
Damn it. We need to know. At Tiny
This is a
Foods.
cake.
What?
This is a rainbow cake. I believe this is for Pride Day or Pride Month.
Ooh, so it's a layer cake with all of the pride colors.
Each layer is a different color of the rainbow. Wait, no. Each color is one color, but there's 7 layers.
Okay. I can see a tiny cake being made just because, batter, and you can kind of pour it into whatever. And so, whoa, tiny
Sorry.
laced.
I changed the picture while she was talking.
Tiny, you make tiny chips.
I don't know. I like that they printed it out on microplastic and everything.
So in my tiny toys, Kitchen Little, I did have a bag of chips, but you couldn't open it. I mean, I think those are plastic. So how do you make tiny chips?
They literally just look like crushed up, like smaller chips. Like they had crushed up like small chips.
So that would make sense for
Yeah.
that, but not tiny blueberries.
I don't know. Maybe you're not looking at the right blueberries.
Oh, why is
Hold
my
on.
hand like this? This is,
I don't know. You're like you have an iron grip fist.
it's like pointed like a squirt gun.
Oh yeah, it is. Like,
I don't know why it's like this. This is my excitement hand.
that's your shaka. This is a tiny.
Oh, I did see something like
Donuts.
that. I like how every time I see something, it's like, oh.
Whoa.
I did see something like that before, making tiny donuts where they actually fried them. And you can see, like, in the tiny grease, and they were flipping them. What is that? That is tiny s'mores. Oh, and see, they actually
This
have
is
the
great
Hershey's.
for an audio podcast.
They actually have the Hershey's label on there. All of the foods are labeled.
They're
so
labeled
I'm-
pretty well. They're printing them out somehow, like, and then pre-packaging these. I want to say.
Right.
Yeah, let me try
But
and find one.
where did the tiny foods come from? I need to
Apparently,
know.
a place called the Micro Bakery.
The micro bakery. Oh, I'm gonna go there. Look at tiny PB and J. Little tiny Ziploc bag.
I don't know. This is. I don't know if
my
this is
hand
good
like
content. I'm gonna delete this segment. Like, there's nothing happening here.
Don't delete it. I'm so excited.
Look how tiny that Lunchables is.
What? That's crazy. Look at the little Reese's cup.
You're just gonna be faving all of these tweets. I can see.
Oh, tell me what the Twitter handle is again. Is it at Tiny Foods?
Food. Hilariously, it's kind of reverse. It's at Foods Tiny.
At
No
Foods,
spaces.
At
no.
Foods Tiny.
Yep.
Go to at Foods Tiny and look at all the little miniature foods if you like cute things. Are all of these
Anyways,
things edible?
I want to say yes because they have made the things that they make it out of are edible. Like there's one where they made fried chicken, and he is actually dusting it in flour and everything like that.
Oh, I think I did see that, and I really wanted to know, where do you get tiny drumsticks?
I don't know. I want to say it's just like a piece of meat with a toothpick that they shaped into.
You think so?
Yeah.
I gotta go to this place and see how they do things. How do they make the the tiny frozen
I know
drumsticks?
I know some people they use the tea lights as like their stove.
Oh, for cooking?
Yeah.
Oh, oh yeah, I think I did see something like that before.
I'm
I get the cooking part. Fire can be however big or small as you make it, but the foods.
I'm pretty sure you've seen this guy because he's been pretty internet famous. It's the hamster that
Oh yeah, the hamster that eats the tiny pancakes.
this one is a burrito.
A burrito.
Yeah.
Burrito. Yeah, and they use tweezers or something to do the folding of certain things. Pancakes I can kind of see. Like I say, if it's anything with batter, like cake batter or pancake batter, that makes sense because it's already in a liquid form and it's going to go into whatever small or large container that you put it in. But as far as like little tiny blueberries and little tiny chips and things, little chicken drumsticks. I see a lot of people make these models of foods using resin. I think it's resin.
Oh yeah, just like fake stuff.
Yeah,
but they, like,
yeah, the
make
plastic one.
Warhammer things out
Yeah,
of.
or they're making jewelry or earrings or something like that. So I have seen
Oh yeah,
people
girly
make.
things like that.
Oh well, shit. Nah,
No, I'm just
she
kidding.
would use resin for guy things.
Yeah, I've seen resin used. Like the only thing I've seen resin used for nerdy guy things is Warhammer landscapes when you need like water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, there you go. So any type
Or-
of miniatures or landscapes.
You went to a train museum, not like a big train museum,
did.
but like a model train
Yeah, a
museum.
miniature train museum. I believe that was in New Jersey, and I took a day trip up there. And they had tons and tons of different models of actual trains. And so the models were created so that the trains were running through the different displays. And so you could, see the models at this one display and then go to the next and kind of see the same train running through. But then it would eventually move over to larger trains and then sometimes smaller trains, and they would have these towns set up too. I've always wanted to do that where I could create this or have a table and make an entire miniature scene on top of it made out of whatever materials. Not that I was
Cat
so
litter.
into oh gross. Not that I was so into trains that much, but more into
The
miniature.
scenery.
Yeah, like little miniature things and actually making the scene look like an actual place or look like a mountain. So they had some snowy areas and they had, lots of little teeny shops, like bake shop.
Does this stem from something? Because I feel like you.
Something in my childhood.
No,
Something
just
traumatic?
like no, nothing like that. I'm thinking more so like, do you fancy yourself like a Godzilla or just like this?
Smashed the whole
Yeah,
town.
just like I will destroy everything because you're all under my grip and power. Like, is this some weird power trip for you?
No, I think it's because I have Muppet hands. I have
Oh.
like these little tiny hands, and the things that it's best at holding is little tiny things. So
Fair enough. Yeah,
I think that's as
mystery solved.
I think that's more so what it is. I don't know. I've just always had this fascination with small, cute toys and lots of miniature things. Like I always thought it was cool. Like they showed those Lionel trains late at night on the infomercials.
What infomercials are you? What late night channel are you
You know, like
watching?
on the old people stations. So, like after Tales from the Crypt and Murder Mysteries.
They're
on-
not
on
showing Lionel
PBS.
trains for that. There, it is like some. I'm a lonely college student looking for a call from some man. Like, it's that kind of
What?
like.
Lionel trains?
I guess maybe.
No.
That's more like 4 a.m. when old people get up.
No,
Like
this was
2 or 3 a.m. is like when you get those weird call girl.
well. Lionel Trains isn't a call girl.
No.
Kind
I'm
of,
just saying like when after Tales from the Crypt and all that stuff, like late night TV.
Well, that came on at 10.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Well,
And it didn't come on PBS. I don't remember the channel that Tales from the Crypt came on at that time, but I do remember we would watch. My grandmother and I would watch Tales from the Crypt. Some nights it would be Golden Girls, but we would watch Tales from the Crypt, and then Murder Mysteries or Murder She Wrote would come on.
are
Somewhere
you trying to remember the name of the show, or is
no,
that
like that was the name of it.
okay? No, I know Murder She Wrote, but I don't remember Murder Mysteries.
Yeah, it was some type of murder mystery show,
Oh,
and the
okay.
intro was in black and white. And I don't remember watching the show. I only remember the theme song or whatever. I don't remember it right now, but
I was
yeah.
like, can you hum it?
No, I was 10 years old when all this happened. And then sometime after that, when the infomercials would come on, they showed Lino trains.
Mm.
And so I would think, oh, that's so cool. And then even in a lot of the cartoons, they would show, when there's a lonely kid or some shit and they're looking through the
was really
window.
depressing.
Well, I guess. It's just like a psychological episode where we find out why I like tiny trains because of
So you can crush your
all
enemies.
the loneliness. So you would see like the little poor orphan kid looking through a window. And it's always a train in the background. It's always Christmas. The snow is falling.
This is so. I'm
Oh,
like
this is
imagining some
bad.
Sarah McLachlan song coming
This is
on,
bad.
and like for $2 a day,
This is
you can give this child a train.
I didn't want this to go that way. I think we're starting to unlock something in my childhood that
Oh,
I
no.
didn't want to.
Oh no, my memories!
My sad, sad Christmas memories.
Oh, is it the color purple again?
Oh no.
I
Don't
got
destroy
attacked
the
by the
studio. I think the color purple came into play in my sad adult life.
Oh, okay,
So-
that was more of an adult thing.
So Tiny Trains was in apparently my sad childhood life. No.
Oh no! My memories, no!
Shit. Well,
It's fine.
Well, anyway, I remember having a joyful time
Well, I had a good time. That's
Playing-
all that matters.
playing with these little miniatures and things like that. But the train museum was also pretty cool because, man, it was hours of trains and scenes. And then at the end of it, you could ride on a larger train.
This is nonsense.
Was it? No, this is real. Which wasn't as fun to me as looking at the tiny miniature trains. It was more so for the children that are, 3 and 5 years old. They're like, oh, this is the part that I like because now I actually get to touch things and write in something. Versus all the little things that were behind glass that they couldn't touch.
I know this is some guy's house, essentially. So was it just his backyard that
Was
had...
this some guy's house?
I honestly thought it was some guy's basement.
No, that's what I've always wanted to make.
Oh, okay.
Not specifically in some guy's basement.
Break into some guy's house. Where do all these trains come from?
But I don't know if the train museum was initially a house that someone started to build. That could have been the story. I'll have to look it up. Maybe it was someone's house and they had the one train and then they kind of went overboard and they had to leave the house because there was now no more room for them to do normal
I did
family
this to
things.
myself.
And so they said, well, fuck it, we'll just make it into a museum. I'll have to look it up again. So it could have been something like that, or it literally just could have been space that they had and someone, had a great idea to show all of their trains and miniatures at this one location.
Or maybe it was always there, and they built the house around it to contain it so that it would stop growing.
That's also a possibility.
Tales from the Crypt episode.
Oh,
No,
gosh,
it's a real episode.
I watched so many of those
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt episodes. That was a great
Did
part
any of them
my
like
childhood.
mentally scar you as a child?
Well, I started watching scary movies when I was about 6 or 8 years old.
That's-
And so I don't think I'm scarred. But like I said, this seems to be turning into a psychological episode. So
I didn't even dug anything. It was just like, I just like tiny things.
yeah, all right, cool. Woo!
I
So
mean,
hide all the other things.
that's not to
from
say
me.
that I won't get to psychoanalyze this.
Oh, that's fine. Damn it. No, I did start watching scary movies when I was about 6 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I don't think I was that much scared. The first thing that I watched was pretty scared, and I believe it came from Indiana Jones. Like, after telling people about it, saying there was this one movie where a character reaches inside another character's chest and pulls out their heart and they're screaming something. When I told, someone about this as an adult, they said, "Do you mean Indiana Jones when he was screaming, Calamar?" Is that the word? Calamari?
That's why it's red. It's marinara sauce.
Yeah. So as an adult, I find out that, this whole time I was scared of Indiana Jones and I thought it was a scary movie.
Those movies aren't really meant for children, to be honest.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
guess
lot
so.
of really freaky, messed up crap to mentally scar children. Like in the first movie, there's like part where the guy's face melts off.
Oh, that happened?
Yeah. Have you not seen Indiana Jones series?
Well, I did, but most of it was as a child.
Gotta rewatch that. That stuff's great.
Yeah, yeah.
It holds up pretty well, I would say.
I guess so. Speaking of watching things as a child, also I rewatched a lot of the movies that I used to watch when I was younger, like 10 years old, and Hellraiser was one of those movies.
Does it hold up? Or?
Well, apparently it's a sex horror movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't know as a 10-year-old child.
You kind of block that stuff out because you don't understand what's happening.
Well, I didn't know what was happening. I didn't understand that the chains on the nipples were like some masochist kind of thing. I didn't realize it until I was older, and I was like, "Holy shit! My parents let me watch this."
I like to imagine you're drawing this stuff like in school, and like
Look what I just watched.
there's like some
Chains on nipples.
there's some parent teacher meeting where they're like, we have to ask you something about your daughter. She's obsessed with these tiny foods that are strapped to men's nipples.
Oh, the good old days. So those movies, I didn't really have any type of emotions to outside of the very first thing that I saw, which was Indiana Jones. But then after that, everything was fine until I watched Terminator 2.
You're naming all these horror movies that aren't really horror movies.
I wasn't saying that was a horror movie. I was more so saying that film gave me more of an emotional response than the other films outside of Indiana Jones, which scared me to death. But after watching Hellraiser and Nightmare on Elm Street, watching Terminator 2 gave more of an emotional response. I cried so hard during the ending of that film.
You and have cried at that movie so much.
It's so sad. And I understand it. When you're a kid, and, you have a crush on the buff robot man.
Wait, did you see the first movie?
Yeah.
Like as a kid?
Yeah.
The uncensored part?
Wait, what part was uncensored?
So we saw it recently, and you totally see Arnold Schwarzenegger's junk in the movie.
Oh, when he lands?
Yeah. Like,
I think it's so fast.
Not really.
No? Well, they didn't, have him stand up and...
Close up. Slow zoom in. Just push into it slowly. This is a dramatic moment. Don't break the tension.
They didn't do that.
No, they didn't, but it's it's out there.
Well, when
just hanging out.
Well, when you know to look for it, yeah.
It looks just like him.
And when... the head is just like the head of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It doesn't know how to speak English either. It just... That's why they gave it no lines.
It's like... It's just like flopping around everywhere.
That's more like Stallone.
I guess that would be my sound effect for both. I don't know the difference. Except one says Adrian, and the other one just not saying anything.
They did put them in a movie together, and I think they had to put subtitles.
No, are you talking about Expendables?
Yeah.
I did not see the third one, nor do I remember the other two. So I'll probably have to rewatch those.
I've only seen the trailers for them because I didn't bother to see. I don't think the movie was worth my time, but a trailer would be, so I would watch a trailer of that.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. It's just so many excited moments with tiny foods and...
You've had a bit of a heart attack with numerous times remembering tiny foods, remembering tiny trains.
Oh, my childhood.
Yeah, seeing, mentally blocking Arnold Schwarzenegger's junk.
Well, why would I mentally block that? I don't think I understood what was happening. I mean, as a kid.
Naked guy, I guess.
Well, I mean,
He's naked.
And probably, I would say my dad probably distracted me, when it came on. He's like, "Don't you look at that screen." I'm like, "Oh, shit." And then, you go back to it and everything's gone. I can
just like to imagine your dad saying, "Hey, what's that?"
Never. No.
Do you see the size of that thing?
Absolutely not. My dad was quite the opposite.
Okay. That makes some more sense.
Yeah, he's very, very much the militant man, even though he was not in the military.
My parents were in the military, and you would think that having Asian military parents would be like a really super strict household. It totally wasn't. Like, it was totally free for all. I could watch as many R-rated movies as I wanted to, and I didn't really get freaked out by any of them except for one, and it's not even a movie. It's
What? How did you watch it if it
well, it's a
wasn't a
mini
movie?
series to be
Oh,
fair.
okay.
And they just compiled them together, and it just made no damn sense at all watching it as an adult. But it was the movie It.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that movie is super freaky when you're a child, and then you watch it as an
Yeah.
adult, and only the parts with Tim
So
Curry are freaky.
boring.
Yeah, it's super boring.
It's so boring as an adult, but I will say that that film definitely scarred me and is a reason why I don't like clowns.
I
And
think it scarred
that,
everybody.
Yeah, and I think that every clown is John Wayne Gacy or one of his accomplices that's just trying to keep the tradition alive. Oh,
Just copycat killers
oh
left and
yeah,
right.
all the time. Clowns are the worst for me.
What about... Yeah, I can't think of like a clown. What about mimes?
I haven't really seen any mimes outside of
France.
well, I guess so. That stereotypical mime that they also repeat in cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. So I've never experienced one of those close up, but I have experienced clowns close up. So I'm not sure if it would be as weird, although I have seen in some churches through images and things like that, they will have dancers that kind of have that same mime look where the face is painted white. And they will have gloves on and not necessarily a hat, and they're dancing. And so I always thought that was a little weird. It looked a little weird. I knew what they were trying to do, but it looked a bit weird, yet not frightening. So I don't know if it's the colors that play into it. Like, like we're trying to say, it had a very
specific look.
Yeah.
I think the new movie, like the remake of it, I just don't find it scary. Like it's like Clive Barker. If you're familiar with like Clive Barker, he makes all these like action figures and toys and movies.
Of course.
Yeah, and it's just so that to the nth degree, like it's just so over the top, and I just don't find it scary. It's like
you're an adult now.
No.
Well,
like
you
I
have
just
an
mean like
adult
there's
brain.
no. I don't mean just that, because I could look at it, the original one, and still see like it's really freaky.
Yeah,
like
but
the
I think
parts
you're
with Tim
also
Curry.
pulling things from your childhood or the feelings that you initially felt when you first saw that.
I mean, that could be true.
When you view, Pennywise now. Versus the things that you will see, like the new version of it, they're trying to make it into a monster. And for as many monsters as you've seen up to this point, of course, it's not going to be scary.
No, but I personally like more subtle types of scares. Things that aren't so overt. If they're going to be that goofy, make the movie goofy. Like, just have fun with it. Like, at that point, like, if you're going to have such an overly evil looking thing, I expect Troll 2 kinds of like shittiness and fun.
Leprechaun was also pretty shitty back then.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
But it was fun. Like I mean, there's one where he goes to the hood, and then I think in the next movie he goes to outer space.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, it's a bad series. It's not good.
It's so awful.
Yeah.
Man, we always talk about movies.
And video games.
What else do you do in your life?
I'm sorry, I honestly don't have a life. I'm gonna run before everybody figures this out.
No. Goodbye.
Bye.